Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and we are going to talk about stuff. Specifically, what's going on down in Louisville and an update on the fleshing out of the Breonna Taylor case. I caught a news story this morning that the city of Louisville was shutting down entire portions of their downtown with police barricades. They're cutting off businesses, sidewalks, streets, the whole nine yards, in anticipation of an announcement as to whether or not the officers involved in Breonna Taylor's killing are going to be going to trial or not, if there are going to be any charges brought up against them. Recently, the state agreed to pay Breonna Taylor's family a settlement of $12 million. So let's take a look at what's going on in Louisville and what to expect in the coming days. This is Louisville Police Department sent this notification out to people, letting them know that due to increased attention and activity in anticipation of an announcement from Attorney General Daniel Cameron regarding the Breonna Taylor case, a decision was made to, quote, accelerate plans to physically restrict access to the downtown area. While we don't know when the Attorney General will make his announcement, we're taking the following actions to ensure the area is safe as possible for those coming downtown to express their First Amendment rights. So they are placing vehicle barricades around the park and the perimeter of downtown. They're also restricting vehicular traffic in surrounding roads and limiting parking in the area. So that's what's coming up in the city of Louisville. They are apparently expecting a decision to be announced sometime soon, or they wouldn't be closing downtown. So real quick, let's get everybody up to speed. 6 Louisville Metro police officers are under investigation by the department's Professional Standards Unit for their roles in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. That unit, which investigates whether officers broke department policies, has initiated its probe into the case. LMPD did not say which potential policy violations it's investigating. The investigation could lead to disciplinary action against the officers, ranging from a written reprimand to termination. Right? They could get a stern talking to and a finger wagging. Ooh. The review is separate from the investigation conducted by the PD's Public Integrity Unit, which forwarded its findings to the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron to determine whether criminal charges should be filed against any of the officers. Cameron hasn't said when the decision will be made. The officers under investigation include Detective Miles Cosgrove and Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly. All the officers under internal investigation, except Jane's, were at Taylor's apartment when the search warrant was initiated around 12:40. I thought they keep talking about how they initiated the warrant or when proceedings began. I've yet to hear the words, when they went into the apartment, broke down the door without announcing their names, and fired full clips into the walls and down the hallway. So apparently Taylor's ex-boyfriend, who lived at another address, was seen, quote, picking up a package at her home and then driving to a known drug house. And he had previously listed his address as her address. And officers saw her car around the corner, and that was what they used to apparently pull the warrant to get the no-knock raid to go in with guns blazing. Police suspected Taylor was receiving drugs and drug money on Glover's behalf, but no drugs or cash were found at her apartment, and attorneys for her family have questioned the reliability of the information. Apparently, it couldn't have been that good because they paid her family $12 million. Now, this is where I point out that $12 million does not come from the police's pocket. The $12 million does not come from the annual police budget. The $12 million does not come from the police pension or retirement fund. The $12 million solely gets paid by the city, aka through money generated and collected through taxes. Now, if you remember, a little while back, we were talking about the shooting in Kenosha, Jacob Blake, who got shot in the back going into his car by a cop named Rustin Shesky. And we were able to find his social media information before it got wiped. And if you remember, on his page, we found a whole bunch of very interesting police memes that he loved to collect, including a whole archive of stuff of, the thin blue line with Spartan helmets and claims to specific sections of the Bible, with the thin blue line flag in the background, talking about how, the police are the servants and the agents of God, and how they've been placed on this earth to smite evildoers with the sword of Damocles. And that is very much like a mentality that happens. Now, why do I bring all this up? Well, because apparently Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, who we just read about, sent an email to about 1,000 officers at 2 a.m. last night, with sort of like a personal letter and him sharing his feelings with the rest of his police family. So I thought we would take a look at it. Just again, much like the Rustin Shesky, we're Roman gladiators and we're servants of God and we smite evil, to see how that mentality continuously permeates police departments and the police culture nowadays. LMPD family, I'm not here to give you a rah, you got this speech. I'm not here to tell you that you signed up to help the community and to keep your head up. I'm here to tell you I'm sorry you have to go through this. I'm sorry your families have to go through this. I'm sorry the mayor, Amy Hess, and Chief Conrad failed us all in epic proportions for their own gain and to cover their asses. You do not deserve to be in this position. The position that allows thugs to get in your face and yell, curse, and degrade you, throw bricks, bottles, and urine on you, and expect you to do nothing. It goes against everything we were all taught in the academy. So I think it's worth discussing the martyrdom in the opening sentence. Oh, I know you didn't sign up for this trouble. Oh, people have bad days at work, and it just means that somebody gets shot. But, the city, the politicians don't have our back because hundreds of thousands of residents in Louisville and the surrounding area came pouring down into the city and demanded some form of justice, an investigation, a firing, God forbid, maybe a trial. If I shoot somebody, there's going to be a trial. The police shoot somebody, there's a backroom deal with the family and they just sign away your money and give it away. But anything short of just doing that, God forbid you actually, listen to the concerns of the local constituency, or maybe listen to people who say that they don't feel safe because the police have become such a closely knit gang, that there's constant fear and people are asking for changes in policing. Now, meanwhile, one of the cops who shot and killed Breonna Taylor is now sending out an email to all the other police telling them how bad he feels for them and their families. He doesn't feel bad for Breonna Taylor's family. He doesn't feel bad for, the people he shot or the people he killed. He feels bad for the family of cops who are going to have to spend the next few days reading horrible things about the actions of police, as opposed to the family of somebody who was murdered. No apologies for them, right? No feeling bad for them. I just wanted to check, but let's get back to the letter. You do not deserve to be in this position, the position that allows thugs to get in your face and yell and degrade you. That's right. People at protests are thugs. You know why they're thugs and you call them thugs? Because it helps to dehumanize them and think about them all as one giant mass. The exact thing that police hate. When there's a police shooting and people say, oh, I can't believe the cop shot somebody. The cops don't care. And the police go, hey, that cop's just a bad apple. Never minding that they forget that the old saying is that one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. But people just go, bad apple, bad apple. So when a cop shoots somebody or goes rogue, he's a bad apple and the problem isn't policing. But when people come out and protest, they're all thugs. Okay, noted. Good logic. Let's keep going. They throw bricks and bottles and urine on you and expect you to do nothing. It goes against everything we were all taught in the academy. This is the position that if you make a mistake during one of the most stressful times in your career, the department and the FBI, who aren't cops and would piss their pants if they had to hold the line, go after you for civil rights violations. Your civil rights mean nothing, but the criminal has total autonomy. Who's the criminal in the Breonna Taylor case? Breonna Taylor is dead, and she committed no crime. So what autonomy does what criminal have? She wasn't a criminal. She's a corpse because you shot her while she was laying in her bed. But you want people to feel bad for you. You know why you get to write a letter Like playing the part of the martyr? Because you didn't get killed like Breonna Taylor did. You're still alive to sit around and complain about how tough you have it, getting paid $90,000 a year from taxpayers while you sit on desk duty, and the city writes out $12 million checks to make the fucking murder that you committed go away. Yet you're going to sit home at 1 o'clock in the morning and send emails out to cops bemoaning how horrible it is to be a cop? Dude, you know why you get to write that email? Because you're still alive. We all signed up to be police officers. We knew the risks and were willing to take them, but we always assumed the city had your back. We wanted to do the right thing in the midst of an evil world, to protect those who could not protect themselves, by barging down their door at 2 o'clock in the morning unannounced and firing 43 rounds into their bedroom. Woo! Yeah! We as police do not care if you are black, white, Hispanic, Asian, what you identify as this week. Look, he's taking a jab at the silly beta cuck lib turds, whatever you identify as this week. Oh, it's great. You know when you can scream Blue Lives Matter and then you can take your badge off and you're no longer blue? Yeah, black people can't do that, asshole. We aren't better than anybody. We just deride and insult and talk down to people who aren't heteronormative male white dudes with guns. But of course, yeah. This is not us against a society, but it's good versus evil. We are sons, daughters, husbands, wives, partners, brothers, sisters, dads, and moms. We are human beings with flaws, feelings, and emotions. Yeah, can we rewind a second? It's good versus evil? Dude, you are a public servant. So I don't know where you get off with the good versus evil thing, unless you're doing that whole thing where me and all my friends, we're good and everybody else is evil. It's us against the world. You know what that is? That's called a gang. Now, I'm just rambling, but I want you to know that I'm still proud to be a cop, to be an LMPD cop. No matter the ineptitude in upper command or the mayor's office, this is one of the greatest jobs on earth. You just fucking complained about it. Now it's the greatest job on earth. So I don't understand here. What? Like, it's awesome when you get to shoot black people willy-nilly and the government writes $12 million checks to make up for the fact that you like to execute people, then it's the greatest job in the world. But when you get put on desk duty or face suspension, then it's horrible? Really? With that being said, these next few days are going to be tough. They're going to be long. They're going to be frustrating. They'll put a tremendous amount of stress on your families. Do not let your ego get you in a trick bag. Apparently, he's complaining that when they announce that the cops aren't going to be prosecuted, because again, they're cops and they don't get prosecuted, that people are going to protest really hard, and that he feels really bad for all the cops who are going to have to put on, 50 pounds of riot gear bought by the state and take their military chemical weapons that the U.S. government gives them, and they're going to have to fucking tear gas thousands of residents while they get paid time and a half for overtime while they stand in a line protected by 300 other cops wearing body armor, and they plink off public citizens one by shooting them in the head with less than lethal munitions. Yeah, that sounds like a real tough day. You want to switch? Would you like to switch for a day, officer? I would be more than happy to put on 80 pounds of fucking SS gear and launch projectiles at you while you hold up a cardboard sign that says no justice, no peace, okay? Let's swap for a day and see how you enjoy it. Have your partners 6. De-escalate if possible. Do not give the pencil pushers at the top, the ones who are too scared to hold the line, a reason to open investigations on you. The same ones that couldn't make decisions to save their lives. We need leaders that lead from the front and not in a room under a desk. Do what you need to do. Go home to your family. Just do it with dignity and make sure you can justify your actions because everything down there is recorded. Yes, you should be accountable to the public. You know why? Because you work for the public. You're also given a tremendous amount of public trust. You are given a firearm while everybody else's firearm rights are restricted. You are given the ability to enter people's homes. You are given the ability to kidnap and imprison people. And with all of that should come an elevated responsibility. Not martyrdom, not pity parties, responsibility. Because that's your fucking job. I don't know a lot of you guys and gals, but I felt the love. Regardless of the outcome today or Wednesday, I know we did the legal, moral, and ethical thing that night by firing 42 rounds of ammunition into a wall and shooting somebody who was asleep in her bed and totally innocent of any crime. Yeah, you did the right thing. It's sad how the good guys are demonized and criminals are canonized. I'm sorry, what did Breonna Taylor do that was criminal? She was lying in her bed when you assassinated her. How is that criminal? Put that aside for a while, keep your focus and do your jobs that you're trained and capable of doing. Don't put up with their shit and go home to those lovely families and relationships. Yeah, you know who can't go home to their family and relationship? Breonna Taylor. You know why? Because you killed her. I wish I was there with you leading the charge because I love shooting protesters in the head with less than lethal munitions. It's my second favorite thing to do when I'm not executing people who are asleep in their bed. I'll be praying for your safety. Remember, you're just a pawn in the mayor's political game. I'm sorry, who gets paid more, the chief of police or the mayor? I'm sorry, who gets to have more weapons? The chief of police or the mayor? Let's stop making it sound like the mayor is like the guy from the Snorks and he owns the whole city. Or he's the mayor from Little House on the Prairie and he also owns the general store. Or let's stop making it sound like he's fucking, I don't know, Michael Bloomberg and he has $12 billion. Like the mayor of Louisville? Really? I'm proof they don't care about you and your family. You know, because they gave me full Blue Cross Blue Shield, completely paid for 100% of my medical bills, then put me on restricted duty while I was on medical leave because I caught a bullet in my leg, and I've been getting paid my full salary every single week while the investigation goes on. And I get paid for sitting at a desk all day now instead of having to be out in the street. Yeah, let me tell you, the mayor is horrible. Stay safe and do the right thing. You are loved and supported by most of the community. Now go be the warriors you are, but please be safe. None of these peaceful protesters are worth your career or freedom. Godspeed, boys and girls. This is what I'm talking about. There's this mentality amongst police that they are all warriors. They're an elite unit of Spartans that have each other's back, and it's them against the universe. Every single year, more and more of the police department becomes people with military training who get out of the military and then they go into a police academy. And these are people who have been trained for years to go downtown or walk down the street and they don't see people, they see potential insurgents. We have a problem with policing in this country. Something has to change, and it has to change quickly because this is only going to get worse.